I always wanted to create a video on how I got started in rail buggies. Well, it all started in the summer of 1981 when my brother Brian purchased his open frame ProTech rail buggy. Well, it wasn't long after I purchased mine from a buddy of the guy that my brother purchased his from. Mine was a rolling chassis. It had no motor, no seats, no transmission. You could steer it, but that was about it. Yep, that's me, 1981, 21 years old, with my buggy, my bike, and my 75 Firebird. My friend Lon, that's him on the far left there, helped me get my buggy on the road. This is Larry's very first bug jam there off of Wadsworth there in Dayton, Ohio, 1982. I was lucky to be a part of a race team, Mud, Sweat, and Gears, that raced in the 1500 single port class. Here we are in Lake Geneva waiting for the race to start. In the fall of 1982, I decided to start completely over again. I took it back down to the bare frame and started rebuilding with the knowledge I'd gained by being on that race team. Well, after repairing and beefing up the frame, I had it sandblasted and then I painted with a 2-part epoxy paint. Well, I got the frame painted and now it's time to start painting all the other parts and slowly start putting it back together. I installed a lot of upgraded parts, but I also wanted some convenience like a gas gauge and a radio. I spent quite a bit of time on the wiring because I wanted to wire it just like a Volkswagen so it would be easier to troubleshoot it down the road. Well, with the wiring done and the Lexan windshield and motor installed, but I still needed a tool bag, so I made one, every tool needed to pull motor and transmission. Well, I finally got the buggy done 6 months and $4,000 later in the spring of '83. Yeah, Walt and I went on a trip in southern Ohio. We drove on some trails we probably shouldn't have been on, ended up breaking the transmission. Well, it's back on the road again after having the transmission rebuilt and strengthened. Well, we did a lot of camping over the next 10 years or so and really not much off-roading at all. Did a lot of upgrades over the years like disc brakes, long travel front end, and race seats, but in 1994 I wanted to build a brand new motor from scratch. Brand new aftermarket block, counterweighted crank, Eagle cam, and balance and blueprinted by Georgia Speed Shop. Midsummer of 2014, I decided to upgrade the motor with dual carburetors and bigger intake and exhaust valves. The carbs wouldn't fit, so I had to modify the frame. I recreated a photo I took of my sister Ada and myself in 1986, and then took a picture with her daughter Lona 30 years later. I also recreated the 1981 photo in 2021, 40 years later. Yeah, it's hard to believe I've had the buggy for 43 years and still going strong.